Hey everybody, and welcome back for another year of fantasy football. I thought I'd go over a quick draft recap of last night's draft, so let's jump right into it. And getting the first pick of the draft this year was Team Go Fisk Yourself. He went up and got Christian McCaffrey in a predictable pickup. He also got Lamar Jackson to round out what is the best, statistically speaking, quarterback and running back in the league. Can Lamar Jackson repeat the success he had last year with the Baltimore Ravens? We'll have to see. This team looks a little light at the wide receiver position. As always, Larry Fitzgerald is back with Team Go Fisk Yourself. Tom's a big Cardinals fan. He also went out and got Rob Gronkowski, which he's banking on him being back to his normal dominant self after taking a year off last year. Overall, though, this isn't a bad-looking team for Tom, which is surprising, given his drafting history and usual focus on sleeper picks and not guaranteed players who do well. So, looking like a good team for Tom. We'll see how it pans out for him. And with the second pick of the draft was Show Me Your TDs. He went out and got running back Saquon Barkley with his first pick. He also has Chris Carson, which actually makes a pretty nice duo at the running back position. Carson Wentz is the quarterback here with the Eagles. Now, you have to worry about Carson Wentz's injury past, but when healthy, Carson Wentz is a very good quarterback. Overall, this is a pretty decent team. A little light at the wide receiver position, although both wide receivers, Woods and Metcalf, are respectable wide receivers. Maybe DK Metcalf can build off of that successful rookie season over there in Seattle. We'll have to see, but overall, another pretty good team. And with the third pick of the draft, I have a Chubb. He went out and picked up Ezekiel Elliott, running back for Dallas. He also went out and got Russell Wilson, quarterback for Seattle. I like that pick. I think he's going to do well out there this year. I do have a question about James White, though. Will he still be the pass-catching machine up there in New England without Tom Brady out there at quarterback? Very strong wide receivers. I also like the addition of Juju Smith-Schuster here because I think now with Big Ben at the helm in Pittsburgh, we will really see Juju Smith-Schuster's numbers take off this year. Now, this team, of course, is named after Nick Chubb, and this team doesn't have Nick Chubb on it. But they do have the next best thing, the second in command at the running back position for the Browns. That's Kareem Hunt. I have a Chubb always willing to lay down some smack talk. Look out for him this season. Second-year player Dylan Quimby leading Little Loose in the Millsap. Someone will have to fill me in on what in the world that means. Went out and got Alvin Kamara with the fourth pick. He also has a couple other guys that have some question marks on him. You may know that Alvin Kamara, there were some rumors that he may be on his way out of New Orleans in a trade. It does appear that he's going to be staying there for the foreseeable future. Matt Ryan, will he be able to return to an offensive powerhouse over there in Atlanta? And Le'Veon Bell, is he going to come bouncing back here with an improved Jets offensive line? Most of you thought that last year Dylan Quimby had the best draft. I know I did. This year, a couple question marks for sure, but if he can get two of those three to perform as they should, I think he's really got a good team here. Fifth overall pick this year is Team Lawrence. Last year he was the first overall, and went with Le'Veon Bell. He did make his excuses for that, of course. I suppose I have to accept them. This year, a much more predictable Dalvin Cook at the number 5 spot. A couple more question marks on this team as well. Can David Johnson, now in Houston, return to what he was in 2017-2018 with the Cardinals? Also, Team Lawrence went out and got Joe Burrow as his quarterback. At this time, there is no backup quarterback for this team. He's put all of his trust in Joe Burrow. Maybe that is a good decision. Maybe it's not. Only time will tell on that one. Is A.J. Brown the man in Tennessee? Can he build off from what he did last year? And a couple other question marks on this team. But overall, again, very similar to the last team we talked about. If a couple of these guys can return to what they've done in the past, or even just 75% of what they've done in the past, and Joe Burrow puts up a solid rookie campaign, this is a team to watch out for. And getting the number 6 pick of the draft is my darling wife, young Kimberly. She leads Gronky Kong. And actually broke up the running back streak we had as the first round draft picks and went out and picked up wide receiver Michael Thomas for the Saints. She also got Drew Brees, so that could be a nice little duo between the two of them. And I like Adam Thielen at the wide receiver position. I also like Zach Ertz at the tight end position. You may think, Tyler, did you help her draft? I am not going to confirm nor deny that, but I do think that she has the second best team in the league, in my opinion. There are some questions with Cam Akers and Kerryon Johnson at the running back position, but Marlon Mack is on her bench, backing up just in case. He figures to be in the mix for the leading role in Indianapolis at the running back position. Overall, I think this is a very good team, and the second-year player, Kim. And with the number 7 pick, we have Greg's Lobos, the only auto drafter in the league this year. He went out and got Derrick Henry with his first pick, and has a couple other guys that actually turned out to be a decent team when all put together. The only question mark, though, that I have here is the quarterback, Dwayne Haskins, his only quarterback on the roster. We'll have to see if that sets him back, even though he does have a decent team built around him. Will Dwayne Haskins be able to have a better second year, or will he suffer through the sophomore slump? First-year player Garrett Madden heads LA Master Madden. You might think that he would make a play on John Madden. He chose not to. He also went out and chose Julio Jones as his first pick, and got Mike Evans as well, and Marvin Jones. All three wide receivers make up probably the best wide receiving core in the league. He also has Deshaun Watson as his quarterback, and looks to maybe capitalize on a full backfield in Washington and get the hot hand in Antonio Gibson. This team looks pretty good. He also does not have a full bench, perhaps making a statement that his starters are good enough that he can afford to not have a bench player. Overall, rookie first-year player Garrett Madden looks to have a good team. League veteran Tyler Howard must have been pretty excited when Tyreek Hill fell to him at the number 9 spot, although this team does have some question marks associated with it. Will Tom Brady be able to do well in the new offensive system down there in Tampa Bay? Will Todd Gurley stay healthy in Atlanta? Will Leonard Fournette be able to get enough carries in a crowded backfield in Tampa Bay? And will Jamison Crowder be relevant at that flex position with Sam Darnold at QB? Overall, we have seen in the past that Tyler Howard is able to adapt as the year goes on, usually picking up a player who turns out to be pretty good. Maybe he'll be able to do that again this season. At the number 10 spot, drafting were those same Darnold Jets. They went out and got Nick Chubb, the running back from the Browns. This team, I really like the wide receiver core in Kenny Golladay and Odell Beckham Jr. Now, this team's tight end, Mike Gesicki, I've been assured by their leader, Kirk, is the best tight end in the league, or one of the best tight ends in the league. I've never heard of him before. Maybe you guys have. Tariq Cohen was a failure for me last year, so I'm glad that Kirk has him. Will Matthew Stafford, coming off from a major back injury, be able to throw 650 pass attempts again as he normally does? And of course, this team has Jordan Poyer, who has a lovely girlfriend, Rachel Bush. And we go to the number 11 spot here with those pesky Tampa two-steppers, and they put together another good-looking team this year. They went out and got, with the number 11 pick, Josh Jacobs, who had a very good rookie campaign with the Raiders last year. He's also got a decent team all around. Dak Prescott at the quarterback position, Miles Sanders, who's questionable right now, but I believe they are expecting him to be ready for week 1. A solid wide receiver core, and a promising young flex position as well. Another good year ahead of him by the looks of things for the Tampa two-steppers. And the number 12 pick here goes to In Goff We Trust. She went out and grabbed Kenyon Drake. Now, Kenyon Drake was kind of an interesting first-round pick, but if you look at his numbers last year, he really took off once he arrived in Arizona and left that disaster in Miami. He seems to be a good fit there in both the passing game and the running game, and really could rack up a lot of fantasy points once that offense starts clicking. A couple question marks here, though. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, will he be the lead guy in Kansas City? At this time, it does appear to be so. And will Josh Allen seem to build off from his second-year success in his third year? And will he allow Buffalo to be the team to beat in the AFC East? Cooper Kupp, Cortland Sutton, Jared Cook, and Jordan Howard are all solid picks and really round out this team nicely. I also like the bench quite a bit too, with Kirk Cousins being able to come off the bench and replace Allen if he does struggle, and Sammy Watkins is a very solid and capable wide receiver off the bench as well. With the number 13 pick of the draft, I went out and got Aaron Jones, Vic's dog sitting service. And as I'm really analyzing my roster here, I'm realizing that 4 out of my 7 starters are above the age of 30, and some of them quite significantly. I have Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback. I'm not proud of it. T.Y. Hilton looks to do better this year with Phillip Rivers as his quarterback. Can Golden Tate still have any energy and magic left in him for New York? Travis Kelce, will he continue to be a monster in Kansas City? Will Mark Ingram still have those spring chicken legs? I have some old geezers on the bench as well, and Deshaun Jackson and Phillip Rivers. This is an older team, not to even mention Greg Olsen. Wow, I do have an old team. All right, well, we'll see if injuries really destroy this team, or if they're able to continue to put up some decent numbers and get some of that magic back from earlier in their careers. Your champion last year at LCL Terra, the number 14 pick, went out and got Joe Mixon, who figures to be the main offensive weapon for the Cincinnati Bengals this year with their rookie quarterback Joe Burrow. He also has DeAndre Hopkins at the wide receiver position in Arizona and Arizona's quarterback Kyler Murray. That could be a good duo as the year progresses. Mark Andrews had an awesome year last year for Baltimore at the tight end position, and what will Julian Edelman's role look like with Cam Newton at the quarterback position in New England? Overall, a pretty good team here, solid all around. Will he be able to repeat what he did last year? Well, we're getting down there now. The number 15 pick is Adrian's Daycare. He went out and got Austin Eckler. He also grabbed Devin Singletary, despite he and I just chatting about how I was going to draft him maybe a few hours before the draft, so he is dead to me. He grabbed Jared Goff as his quarterback. Jared Goff hoping to bounce back after a bit of a down year last year, as well as a down year in general for the Rams. But a very solid wide receiver core here with Devontae Adams, the wide receiver position, and Keenan Allen as well. Will Keenan Allen be able to put up the monster numbers that he has been putting up now that Phillip Rivers is out of town? And Tyler Boyd to finish things out at the flex position. That could be an interesting pick if Joe Burrow can really put things together in his rookie year. Ed, I hate to say this is a good team because I'm very upset with you for taking Devin Singletary, but it does appear to be a good team on paper. And with the final pick of the draft was Take Mahomes Country Road. He went out and got Patrick Mahomes, of course, true to the name. We got him in the first round. He also went out and had himself a day at the wide receiver position with Chris Godwin and Tyler Lockett. And A.J. Green. Can A.J. Green bounce back after an injury-plagued last couple of seasons there in Cincinnati? He is an aging player as well. I'm surprised he's not on my team. Will Ronald Jones have some of the touches stolen away from him by Leonard Fournette, the new Buccaneer? And how will Melvin Gordon settle in to Denver? Some question marks on this team, but this does look like a pretty good team. And with Patrick Mahomes, he himself can just really turn the tide of any matchup within, I would say, a half, but maybe even just a quarter of him playing. And let's take a look at the final standings projections after the draft, and it looks like it's the rookie, LA Master Madden, who's out in front, with I Have a Chubb closely falling behind in second, and Team Lawrence at third. You guys can all see where you line up in here. Unfortunately, I am second to last at the number 15 spot. Looking to make some moves. If anyone wants to do some trades, let me know. I'd like to see some transactions this year. And of course, the last spot in the predictions this year, of course, is Adrian's Daycare, the man who stole my draft. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this draft recap video. Let me know what you thought about it and what you disagreed with, what you agreed with. If you want to see more of this stuff, I plan on being back after week 1 with my week 1 recap and a look at the week 2 matchups. Take it easy, guys.